I'm disappointed with the Bucks.
All right, I'm not facing that way. I need to be able to see.
All right, I'm ready.
And I'm Mitchell, and I'm your host this week. First topic that we are going to talk about is college basketball recap. We are going to talk about Wisconsin's win over Xavier, and I'm going to hand it over to Nathan Yagodinsky.
Well, there was a little more than the win over Xavier. That Copen State win too. So beat Copen State 85-63. Hap had second triple-double in school history. Trice scored 21. Brev scored 16. And they combined for 9 for 16 from the three-point line, which is pretty impressive. Then this week they beat Xavier 77-68 in Xavier. Hap had 30, 13, and 5, so that was quite the outing for him. And once again, Trice performed beyond the three-point line. And so did Brad, and the two combined 9 of 11 from 3. And this coming week, they got Houston Baptist this Saturday before they prepare for the battle for Atlantis starting Wednesday against Stanford.
And now we're going to carry it over to, there's the W's out of our Madison fellows. Now over to the Marquette side. Austin Rank, how did Marquette do this week?
Kicked off the season. UMBC won by 25, beat Bethune Cookman by 31. Last night, went into Indiana, got shellacked, to be quite honest. Gonna have to get a lot better than that. Quote after Wojo, after the game, pretty much stated that right now they're not a very good team. And to be quite honest, showed last night, the ranking really didn't mean much, obviously, then to show that they have a lot of work to do. With Moro's hernia surgery, Sam's hip, Joey's ankle, Tartuni playing for the Lebanese national team, and Brendan Bailey gone for 2 years, it's going to take a little bit of time for them to gel. But the talent's definitely there. It's going to take time. Coming up, they got Presbyterian on Saturday. And they're off to get their asses kicked against Kansas on Tuesday and Wednesday, I should say. And hopefully, Louisville.
What are you showing?
And,
it's tough to see, Will. We're all trying to look at it. What I did see about Marquette's schedule is they could very well lose their next 6 games. 6 games.
Presbyterian?
I think it's possible. Like, this team, it's just not good basketball, is what we talked about in our experts group chat. Next, we are on to college football. This should be an interesting topic of discussion. What does everyone think?
We got more college basketball to talk about.
What are we going to talk about for college basketball as well?
We got the best team in the country.
I missed that part. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The best team in the country, I thought we could have skipped it because it's pretty obvious, but we're going to start with Will here.
I'm not going to say, but I'm not going to say it just because I don't like this team.
Okay, we'll go on to Nathan Yagodinsky. What do you think?
For a guy who's a UNC.
As much as it pains me to say, the best team in the country right now is the Duke Blue Devils.
Whoa!
However, this is something that will not last. It's Duke in November. Don't get your hopes up. The team is not gelling. The big three are playing ISO basketball, and you shut one of them down, and they're not going to do very well against some actual competition. I mean, they beat Kentucky game 1, and they kind of blew them out, but I think that was just a blip in the radar for Kentucky and for Duke. It was their peak and their floor, so this is not something that's going to last. That three is going to get shut down eventually by a couple teams, and no one else knows how to contribute on that squad.
Austin, who do you think the best team in the country is?
It's Duke, but they got a big Maui coming up here. But they'll probably have Auburn. And you guys can help me out. I don't know who else they play, but definitely tested more than they have been. I think versus Army, it just showed that when they turn the ball over and they actually play a sound team, which Army is, so a team like Virginia, a team like Syracuse, teams that pack the lane. Besides Reddish, this team isn't a very good three-point shooting team. And I mean, obviously, Carolina, Florida State's deep. I mean, to be honest, they're not even my pick to win the ACC. So,
I just think if you want
this point is
to look
overreaction.
at Duke, watch the second half of the Eastern Michigan game. They outscored them 46 to 43 only in the second half. And once the three guys, like, their playing went down, like, limited production, because they didn't play much in the second half, those three, they got absolutely nothing.
If you watched
foul trouble yet, so...
the crafty Army team, they competed with Duke, and that's why I don't think Duke is the best team in the country. It's the Oregon Ducks, baby, led by Bol Bol. That's all I have to say. They're the best team in the country, and they're proving it.
Big game tonight. Big game tomorrow as well.
No, big one. It's a big one. Iowa tonight.
And they have Providence tomorrow? No.
Bol. Have you ever seen him swimming? It's scary.
All right, next we're going to go on to a college football recap because we know there is so much to talk about in there.
Go back to basketball.
Okay, we're going back to basketball for the second time as Will may have his team.
No. A team that everyone's overlooking. Army. Deserves credit. Duke doesn't deserve lack of credit. Army deserves credit.
I am glad we came back to that. And for the third time, on to our college football recap. There's just so much to talk about with the college football playoffs coming up. What do you guys think?
Red. There's not for Wisconsin.
And let's go to number one in the country, Alabama. Why?
Alabama.
There we have it. Alabama. College football is Alabama. Next, MVP predictions for the MLB tonight. We're going to start with Austin Rank. Who do you got for the NL and the AL?
Christian Yelich.
I mean, it's a fair assessment. We're going to go with Will. I know you did your research, Will. Is this the topic you did it on?
Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts for both the AL and NL?
No. Yep.
Mookie Betts for both. On to Nathan. What do you got?
I was torn between Will's decision where he wanted to give DeGrom the AL MVP. I considered it as well.
Betts.
But I'm going to go Mookie Betts, Christian Yelich.
I'm also going to have to go Mookie Betts and Christian Yelich. I'm surprised Nathan went with Christian Yelich being a Cubs fan. But anyway.
I mean, Javier Baez.
Yep, there it is. I'm surprised he didn't pick that guy on his phone. Now, next, we have the most intense 30 seconds of every single show. We have soccer with Will Durain. Will, what do you got for us this week?
Well, last week was pretty disappointing. Man City took care of Man United 3-1. And that's all I got from last week. I didn't watch anything else. This weekend, it's the international break, so there's nothing to pay attention to.
Ooh, I have something.
Yeah?
USA just got their doors blown off 3-0.
Yep. That was against the England team. England team is better. They're also young. That was a good game.
Time's up.
And we are on to the NBA recap after this week's explosion, it seems like, in the news with Draymond Green and KD. Do you guys think the Warriors are imploding? We're going to start with Nathan.
Absolutely not. I mean,
care to give a reason to that? I mean,
yes, I'm explaining. So every year you see top teams. It happens in all sports. Look at the Patriots. They're always find something to nitpick the Patriots about. People got sick of talking about the Warriors winning, and one little blip in the radar, whereas Draymond Green gets upset, heat of the moment. Professional sports, these guys are very into it, very passionate about it. Heat of the moment, says some things which obviously didn't need to be said at the time, but I don't think that is a result of them imploding. I think it's just passion. They want to win. Draymond was pissed. He effed up.
Well, to that rebuttal, I have to say, Draymond did come at KD's upcoming free agency, and Draymond did call out KD for being a mama's boy. I don't know if that's just heat of the moment. That's personal.
It's personal.
Now, I also did see a video of Kevin Durant saying, "That's why I'm getting out of here. I can't deal with this."
I don't know where you saw that video.
It was. I don't know if those were the exact words, but he said, "I'm out of here" or something like that. I don't know, when he was walking back on the court.
Mm-hmm.
personally, Kevin Durant, he will not be a Golden State Warrior next year. He's realized it's either they trade Draymond, and I mean even Warriors guys like David West and Sean Livingston after they won the finals last year, they said eventually the media is going to pick up on this team and realize that it's not a perfect team. But as of now, that little careless act that happened did not come out, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Anything to add, Austin Rank or Will? I know this is definitely...
My answer is no, but I'm going to use my time to explain, to just say that if everyone goes on Mid-Major Madness Twitter, Bill's Basement did get a shout-out today, so go like and retweet that.
Yeah, I agree.
Will? So you said you did some research. Is this finally the topic? Is this the topic, the NBA?
No.
Well, we're getting a little deep into the show, and Will still hasn't done research on any of these topics. It should be a good second half of the show for Will.
One thing I'd like to go off of is I know how to fix this solution, the Warrior solution. So PMT this week was talking, and Carmelo Anthony, wherever that man goes, he becomes the most. He becomes the most hated man alive on that team. So you bring in Carmelo Anthony, the whole entire team, including Draymond and Durant, go against Carmelo Anthony. That will form a group. They will unite as a team against Carmelo, and after like 2 weeks, you can cut Carmelo, and the team is back to good again.
Fair. And ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. This is the first podcasting outlet to use this information. Carmelo Anthony has been cut by the Rockets, so he is available in free agency. Once again, BLT first to break the news.
I hope he goes back to Atlanta. That's where he was good.
Or this next team we're about to talk about, the Milwaukee Bucks. Are the Bucks actually good, or is this just a fluke to the start of the season? We're going to start with Austin Rank, since he is in Milwaukee going to school.
The Bucks, I can confirm that they are a top 4 team. But to be great, the three's got to be falling. I mean, I think we've seen that. When the threes are falling, they're a very tough team to beat. And when they even play a little token bit of defense, I mean...
They do have a top defense in the league, I'm pretty sure. It's on statistics.
Well, last night versus the Grizzlies, not so good. And if you watch a little bit of the broadcast, the announcers were kind of diagnosing it. And they just looked confused at times. But
now I'm going to ask Nathan, out of all the teams in the East, where do you rank the Bucks, and who is above them, if anyone is, at this point?
At this point in the year, in terms of what we've seen, the Bucks are the best team in the East.
Wow.
They are number 1. And I would just like to throw some numbers out at you. So the Bucks, they're 1 game back of the Raptors for first place in the East. They went on a 4-game road trip, something Toronto still has yet to do, or 4-game West Coast trip, something Toronto has yet to do. The Bucks also have the toughest strength of schedule by 10 percentage points in the NBA. The entire NBA, they have the toughest strength of schedule, and they hold the 4th best record. So, and like to what Rank said, how if the threes aren't falling, things could get rough. I do disagree with that point. They scored 84 points in the paint against the Golden State Warriors. You can say what you want about Draymond being out, but that team knows how to attack the paint. Giannis does it better than anybody in the league, without a doubt. So, yes, yeah, the Bucks are here. They have arrived.
But they are at their best when the threes are falling.
Yes, they are the best when the threes are falling. But I don't think they're live and die by the threes.
So, do you think it's fair to say that the Bucks will be the favorite to come out of the Eastern Conference?
The favorite? Well, I mean, that's tough to tell because you got to see how the season plays out and how records
right.
stand up.
And barring injuries, what do you think?
Never lost.
I think yeah, they should be.
Well, the thing is, Jimmy Butler got added to the Sixers. I mean, it's a good add, but they lost depth. The Celtics, they have a lot of good players, but you know the Bucks can stick with them if Eric Bledsoe plays Eric Bledsoe basketball. And the Raptors.
The Raptors are the 1-2.
One loss to Milwaukee without Giannis, but Kawhi didn't play. But however, that Raptors team will have Kyle Lowry in the playoffs. Irrelevant.
Pascal Siakam, MVP.
But I would like
Cedi Osman hurt. Can't be MVP.
So you're saying Jimmy changes the landscape of the Sixers? How come?
I'm not saying he's So what they did is they got rid of Dario Saric and Robert Covington, who are 3-and-D guys, and Jimmy Butler he's an all-out scorer, but he also plays defense. So you basically got a guy increasing their play, but they lost depth. I feel like the Sixers aren't gaining much here, but they're risking a lot by those egos of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler all in the same locker room. I mean, Markelle Fultz, he's done. He with that Jimmy Butler coming in, he has no confidence whatsoever.
I would just like to say that the Sixers are stuck with this team now for probably the next they'll offer all these guys a max. I mean, that was like Saric and Covington were their trade bait. Now they're gone. I mean,
what they're trying to do is become the new Warriors, I feel, but they're giving everyone the max.
Jimmy Butler isn't the answer to fixing like a problem like that. Like you saw what they did. Like he did not fix it. What happened last time? They moved Jimmy Butler to a core of young guys in Minnesota. Nothing successful happened there. So
and then when they leave, hey, Jimmy Butler 0-1 since leaving the Timberwolves 1-0. That's all I have to say. And we have this quick commercial brought to you by Nutty Bars. And I shouldn't have to explain why it's Nutty Bars this month. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, to start the show, we forgot to tell you we have Will Durain back as one of our colleagues. He had a scare a couple of weeks ago. We tried to keep you updated throughout the week. He was struggling, but he got out of the hospital, went back to classes the next day. He bounced back very well. Now back to the NBA recap.
The fires in his residence hall are getting so unbearable at this point. The smoke inhalation is just, I can't imagine what Will's going through. And Will, I'm glad you're back, buddy.
I'm glad he's getting all of his liquids right now while he can.
I am.
You don't know when alcohol will burn down. I mean, not alcohol. We can't give away his location. Back to the NBA. What team do you guys think has been impressive so far throughout the season? I'm going to start with Will. Let's see if you got anything to talk about in this research.
I like the Bucks as the best team in the East. They beat the Raptors. So who's better, Giannis or Kawhi? That's an easy one. Giannis. The Giannis-less Bucks beat the Kawhi-less Raptors. So when you add Giannis to the Bucks team,
but isn't that saying that Giannis's supporting cast is better, which means Kawhi is better?
No.
No. I love the explanation. Nathan, who is the most impressive team in your opinion?
Who has impressed me the most would be probably the Sacramento Kings. This team is still in the very, very early stages of the rebuilding. I mean, they got lots of young talent, but still very early in the rebuilding stages. And they're sitting right now at 8-6 in playoffs in the West. Although the West, I do believe, is weak this year. But, yeah. So I feel like the Kings have impressed me the most.
So now we're going to go over to Austin. Who is your most impressive team so far this year?
I'll go with, I can agree with Nathan. I was in between the Kings, but I'm going to say the Grizzlies, who beat the Bucks last night. They got a bunch of old guys. Mike Conley's riding his max. He was injured last year. Marcus Gasol was injured last year. Jaren Jackson, thought he'd be a bust. Actually playing pretty well. If he just fills out a little bit more, could be pretty good in them. They also got Anderson and Temple, who are pretty good role players as well. Very good defensive team down in Memphis. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but I can see about 40-42, 41-41, 38-42, somewhere in that range.
Just rattling off the numbers. Now, on the contrary, who is your most disappointing team so far?
The Jazz, who lost 118-68 last night. They scored 13 points in the third, 9 points in the fourth, and they're 7-7. I mean, these days no one scores under 90, much less 80.
Especially with the offense they're running these days.
Man, 68 points. It's just, yeesh.
All right, Nathan, who is your most disappointing team to this point?
The Washington Wizards. I want to go Houston Rockets, but I think they remove Carmelo, and you'll start to see things get a little more improved. But the Washington Wizards were everyone's pick to finish top 4 in the East easily, without a doubt. And this team looks brutal. Like they don't even look good. Like they haven't even shown signs of what they should be. They're 5-9, which is abysmal because that team should not have 9 losses in a month, much less a span of just the beginning of the season. So
I don't know if I believe the Rockets aren't so much of a disappointment. It's just I think last year they had the right players with Trevor Ariza and PJ Tucker and Eric Gordon playing, but getting rid of those 3-and-D guys and not paying them, I mean, they're just not that good of a team. They're reliant on their guard play.
Yeah, no, and they thought Carmelo could replace everything, and now Carmelo's gone. So, I mean, it's definitely a step back from them from last year. But, like, in my opinion, it hasn't been disappointing because, like, it was something you could maybe see coming. So it's not like the roster has disappointed.
Would you rather have kept Clint Capella? Would you rather have kept Clint Capella or Ariza and I don't know whoever else they got rid of?
Capella, honestly.
Yeah, they made the right decision.
I mean, they just didn't have the money to pay all these guys. But, like, I don't know. One guy that they let go was Luke Richard Mabamute that I feel like was – I think that hurts them the most.
Under the radar.
Defensive stopper without a doubt, and they don't have that at all.
All right.
The allegations of Enzo Amore, WWE wrestler, getting kicked off a plane for vaping and not listening to flight attendants. Do you have any comment on that? It happened. I'm curious. Look. As you're about to
Isn't Enzo not even in the WWE anymore?
Well, like every episode, Will continues to make us speechless. On to NFL preview. BLT has selected a game of the week, and this week we have selected the Monday Nighter that got moved from Mexico City to LA because
that's a shame.
The field is just.
That's a shame. Stadio Azteca is one of the greatest stadiums in the world.
Did you see the field?
Any stadium it's the best stadium in the Americas, hands down.
Did you see the field?
Well, it sucks that the field was bad, but
there would have been at least 12 torn ACLs. At least 12.
You have the 2 best teams looking to play on that. You have to have the field ready. So, speaking of that, it's the LA Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs. We have to pick it, and we're going to start with Will. Will, who's winning this Monday night juggernaut of a matchup?
Well, I have more players on fantasy for the Rams, so I hope the Rams win.
That's probably coming from a Todd Gurley guy, I'm assuming.
Robert Woods.
Robert Woods. Is that the only player that you have in that game?
1 is more than 0, so.
1 is more than 0, right you are. All right. Austin Rank, who do you have in this juggernaut of a matchup?
I'll take the Rams because they're at home, which, I mean, home field advantage really doesn't mean much to them. But I would like to say that they've played 6 one-possession games this year. Eventually, that will catch up to them. They will not be going to the Super Bowl.
Or does that just mean experience in one-possession games?
All right, Nathan, who do you got winning this?
The St. Louis Rams. No, I'm going the Rams. And
We're not St. Louis anymore.
Here's why I'm going the St. Louis Rams. So,
let's try.
Mexico City, do you guys know the elevation in Mexico City?
A lot.
It is higher than Mile High. It's like 2 miles above sea level. So, in preparation for this, the Rams went to Colorado Springs, and because that's higher elevation, and they're practicing there. And even once they found out the game got moved back, they're not going back to LA to practice. So they're going to have like superhuman strength because they've been practicing in the elevation for a full week, and now they're going to come back down to sea level. And
but do you think? But no.
It's going to be a blowout.
But Denver practices in this high elevation, and how are they doing?
Denver sucks though. This is different.
Denver is
LA Rams
Case Keenum
gained superpowers this whole week.
Case Keenum could still win the MVP.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Just got to start
But
playing.
now, we brought up Frank, you brought up an interesting point about the Rams not making the Super Bowl. Nathan Yagodinsky in the beginning of the year had the Bengals making the Super Bowl. So we're over halfway through the season. Has anyone's their picks changed for the Super Bowl? I want to hear yours first, Nathan.
Absolutely. We'll Bengals are not making the Super Bowl. I will be the first one to point that out. The team is not making the Super Bowl.
Off the bandwagon. So who's going to replace them?
I don't know. Probably the Patriots, in all honesty. I'm rooting for the Chiefs, but I don't like Patrick Mahomes. He's just doing well in fantasy, so. But I don't know. Probably the Patriots. Wouldn't mind the Steelers. I don't know.
You know what, maybe I'm not back.
I'm staying with the Packers versus the
I am
Steelers.
shifting over to the Green Bay Packers. I do like that football team now. I jumped back on that bandwagon.
You can't jump back on the Packer bandwagon. You should always be on that. But now, you guys are saying they're going to make the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about who needs to win this week absolutely to make the playoffs. Is it the Packers or do you have someone else?
The Cincinnati Bengals.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
We're 5-4, playing the 4-5 Ravens, and I mean, I'm not saying they're gonna make it to the Super Bowl, but if they want to make it to the Super Bowl, they need to win this week.
That's fair. AJ Green, who was supposed to not come back until December, might play this week. I mean,
no, he's gonna be Andy Dalton's Christmas present. Because the Cincinnati Bengals were like, we're not going to make the playoffs, so Andy Dalton, you need to suffer for a couple weeks. And for Christmas, since we're not giving you a playoff, we're going to give you AJ Green back. That's how much
fair.
they can offer.
Fair. All right. So now
I have a fact, not a fact, but it's adding 5 seconds on the soccer. Wayne Rooney played his last game in an England shirt today.
Time up.
You are
Time's up.
over.
All right. Back to it. Games to watch in the NFL. Is there a select game you guys are going to be watching this week? I think this is finally it. Will has finally done his research. What game are you watching, Will?
All of them.
All of them? But if you had to pick for our audience to watch one game that they would enjoy, what game would you select?
Probably the Monday night game. I don't know. It's the two best teams in the... two of the best teams. This is a stupid question. Next person.
And the attitude, that's going to be a 5-second penalty for talking, Will.
Mute.
Don't
You
mute.
have been degraded to 25 seconds of soccer next episode.
That's
Yeah.
all.
All right, Nathan, is there a select game you would like to watch or have our audience watch?
So when I was looking through the games, I first was very attracted to the Buccaneers versus Giants. I was like, holy cow, there might be 100 interceptions in this game. But then I forgot that Fitzmagic starts and it's not Jameis steal your crab legs anymore. So I backed away from that game because that game would have been fun in terms of watching the defense run that way and the offense run that way, trying to tackle them. But I'm going to have to go with, especially as a Packer fan, Vikings-Bears. I think it's very important. I'm hoping that they both lose. But if I had to pick a winner, I guess I'm rooting for the Bears in terms of the tiebreaker right now. And they got the Truth Bisky on their side, so that always helps.
Right? Is there a game you would like to watch? Or your game to watch of the week?
Yeah. Vikings, Bears. Everyone go watch how bad Mitch Trubisky actually is. He just likes to fall off within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage.
He was
Not
NSC
very
player of
good,
the week.
yeah.
He was NSC player of the
But
week.
my game to watch, the Ravens and the Bengals. I mean, like Nathan said, the Bengals looking to make the playoffs, but Joe Flacco might not play. It might come down to Lamar Jackson or RG3. I can't
I have
wait.
one question. Is Lamar Jackson elite?
Is who? Joe Flacco?
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson is more elite than Joe Flacco.
Is
That is
RG3
the bold take.
Is RG3 elite?
Yeah.
RG3 is more elite. Joe Flacco is the third best quarterback on the Ravens.
No, what I'm hoping for is
He's the
Harbaugh.
best wide receiver.
I'm hoping Harbaugh is so obsessed with using Lamar Jackson just in like minimal roles like he does right now that when Joe Flacco's out, he's like, shit, I still want to use Lamar Jackson only 4 plays a game, so RG3 starting. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't think it's happening, but that'd be pretty cool.
You guys know Lamar did not practice today?
Lamar had a
Lamar
stomach.
is questionable.
All right. This show is brought to you by Nut E-Bars. All right. We are back. Packers talk. I want only one key to victory for the Packers tonight against Seattle. We're going to start with, let's change it up. Austin Rings.
Don't turn the ball over.
Damn it. That was mine.
All right, Will, you're on the spot. What do you got for us? You lost yours? Let's see what research you did.
I was going to say don't turn the ball over, but now,
Oh, it's taken.
well, don't let Russell Wilson throw
Beat you.
Mary. Or no, wait. 5 years ago? Or was it 4 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
14.
The Fail Mary.
Don't let that happen again, and you'll win.
Don't leave it up to the replacement
Yeah,
refs.
piggybacking off of that, their key to victory is to not allow the replacement refs, which are no longer here, to make a call to determine the outcome, or to allow Brandon Bostic on the hands team.
Yep.
And they will win.
Ladies and gentlemen, put all of your wide receivers and your offensive linemen on the hands team.
Everybody not named
Don't
Brandon
put a tight end
Bostic.
up there.
Everybody
and
not named
not-
Brandon Bostic.
If I see Lucas Patrick take back one more kick, oh my God.
If I see
No.
Lance Kendricks on the hands team tonight, I am going to lose it.
I'd rather him than Mercedes
And
Lewis.
stop putting Lance Kendrick at fullback. If you wanted a fullback, you could have just kept the fullback.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
All right.
Trevor Davis,
Now
I think.
we're moving
I
on
think Trevor Davis
to
might
our
be a factor
LC
tonight.
Sports
He's activated. He's going to
preview.
return a
We're moving
touchdown.
on, he said.
What?
We're moving on.
Shut up, Will.
Nathan, can you care to take us away with our LC Sports preview of the
this is
winter
a very
season?
semi-mini preview. Obviously, there's no results report on the LC Sports front, as there has not been any winter sports that have been played yet. All three have started practice these past 2 weeks, and the LC girls team has their first game tonight against Bayport. And Cassie Schultz
Reported to practice.
has signed her NLI to play at the University of Green Bay, Phoenix.
Ooh.
Could have came here. Nice
So-
school.
Should have came here.
All right, that's all we have. I care to talk about the
Wisconsin
wrestling program.
and
Are they
Marquette
still up this
combined.
year?
What?
Is the wrestling program still likely to take away conference, or are they a little down this year?
The wrestling
I haven't heard
program
much
is never
about it.
down. They are never down.
That's true.
Chaz Trammell.
Trammell is
Chad-
leading that locker room.
Good thing he is a better coach than he is a fantasy player, because otherwise
Oh,
it would be rough.
Chaz Trammell, unsuccessful,
Hey, man,
every fantasy possible.
fantasy
But-
coaching duo in all of America.
No, the culture that is built in LC, that I don't care who's on the card every single time. That team will compete on the mat.
Chaz Trammell could be the only person in a fantasy league, and he will still find a way to lose.
He will finish the
Ladies
season.
and gentlemen, to our new, I guess, we're going to
Special.
like a tally. It's a little record we're going to do of our locks of the week. We have our 4 contestants that are going to pick any lock they want. They do not have to be the same, and we are going to keep a record of it and see who has the best success rate at the end of the year. So we are going to start with Nathan Yagodinsky. What are your 2 locks this week?
My first lock involves the Green Bay Packers. And tonight, Aaron Rodgers will extend his interceptionless streak. He currently sits at 264 consecutive passes without throwing an interception, which is 54 behind his career high of 318, and 71 attempts behind the NFL record, Tom Brady's NFL record of 335 consecutive attempts without an interception, and Aaron Rodgers will extend that this week.
All right, before you go on to your next one, Nathan Peterman sadly got cut this week, and Aaron Rodgers could throw what was it, like 1,200 interceptions consecutively and still have a better passer rating in his career?
1,264 consecutive interceptions Aaron Rodgers could throw, and he would still have a higher passer rating than Nathan Peterman.
I love the
It's a
fact.
shame.
All right, on to your
Nathan Peterman
second.
is a great quarterback. Didn't get a chance.
All right, let's hear your second lock.
No, we gotta go around because I need rain
All right.
for my second lock.
My first lock. Alabama Crimson Tide is favored by 51.5. I will pick them.
To cover the spread.
Who do they play?
The Citadel.
The Citadel. Did you know that Tua is not 100% and may not play that whole game? And Jalen Hurts will not be active?
I'll make my second pick. Don't worry.
Okay. Austin, What is your first lock?
So I'm heading it over to esports Overwatch. I'm taking the big time Regal company over Alter Ego.
Good there.
That's bold. My first lock comes tonight, Thursday night football. I couldn't even tell you who the Seattle kicker is. Do any of you guys know who the Seattle kicker is?
Sebastian Jankowski.
So, oh my, I might be making the wrong lock. I am taking the Packers to have the longest field goal tonight.
Ooh.
Mason Crosby, or whoever's kicking it, over Seabass, or whoever's kicking it for Seattle. Green Bay, longest field goal tonight. Second lock, Nathan Yagodinsky, what do you got?
This week's upcoming college basketball AP poll, the Wisconsin Badgers will receive more votes than the Marquette Golden Eagles. That is
I'd
my
hope
lock.
so.
I hope so, he says.
Oh my.
Will, I know you've done research on one topic. This has to be it.
Is the Citadel and 51.5 points.
What?
T 50%.
So you're guaranteed to go 1-1 this week in your locks.
Yes.
Yes.
Bold.
You're gonna when one of you guys is 0-2 and I'm 1-10. I'm laughing in your face.
I do hope the score. Wait, is it 51 even? I hope you push and finish 0-2.
1-2 push.
51.5.
Oh,
So
okay.
Hope
never
he's
mind.
getting it. All right, Frank, what do you have for your second lock?
I'm going to the Canadian Football League. The Calgary Stampeders -5 over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Bold.
That's an easy one. That's an easy one. If anyone watches Canadian football, the Blue Bombers are having a down year, I
How's
think.
Johnny doing? How's Mandel doing?
the Blue Bombers are a great team.
I just know Calgary's pretty good, I think.
All right, and to round up the locks, I am going to go with Aaron Jones will have more rushing yards than not only just running backs for Seattle, but Russell Wilson. So Aaron Jones will outrush the whole Seattle team tonight.
Bold.
But after 1 week of the locks, I think Will's got the hang of it. He's got it. Like, I can go 500 every week and not take last. He's got it.
Unless we all go 2-0, then he's sitting in last.
Yes, that is true.
You're the
Ladies
only
and
one
gentlemen, that
guaranteed loss.
concludes our show this week. Any last words for our audience?
Stay safe. Don't eat yellow snow.
Packers by 12.
Go Marquette.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching.